Hello everyone, Edain here, and welcome back to the Edain Mod, where today we're going to be ranking the top 13 hero killers. So, firstly, I need to say, how I am ranking these is a bit different to how I've normally done it. I've just normally gone like, here's the worst, here's the best, so on and so forth. Well, I want to also give a bit more physical evidence to support my claims. Sometimes I could be wrong, sometimes I could be right. But this hero here, Arvedui, is a hero that you can summon using everyone's favourite cheat activator God mode, using the ability Defender of the 7 Stars. So he is the only hero I can have with every single faction to test how good every single hero killer is. Now I've started with Isengard because the two weakest, in my opinion, are from Isengard, but we'll go into that in a minute. So I'm going to be talking all my usual spiel, why I think this hero is at a certain level, what's he good at, what's he not good at. I'm going to be mainly talking about his stats, his abilities, because the abilities on all hero killers are actually very important. But also I'm going to be talking about I'm also going to be showing how well they can deal with Arvedui at level 1 when they're at their maximum potential at level 10. And some of these I might change my mind on as I read through them. Obviously, I'm not going to retroactively change it by going into the recording and saying, oh, by the way, I changed this and this. No, I'm just going over my own opinion for where I would rank all 13 of these hero killers. And then I'm just going to show every single potential victory against Arvedui, and if they do it a certain way, I might give them a little credit. I might give them a little more credit than what was due before. But I will also say, there's not actually 13 hero killers in the game, but there are 13 heroes, in my opinion, have hero killing potential. And that just means every hero that I've listed here is capable of killing another enemy hero better than any other hero in the game. They have at least one ability that focuses on a hero, doing lots of damage, or improving yourself, or improving allies to some degree, or summoning allies to beat up on someone to give you an edge in that hero-on-hero combat. I know some people will be interested to find out who do I think are the best hero killers and why. So, let's begin. At number 13, we have Lutz. Probably the only designated hero killer back from BFME 1 Vanilla. And, yeah, I think he's the worst. For a lot of good reasons. Firstly, his stats compared to some of the other heroes on this list is actually appalling. His range damage is barely enough to tickle some heroes with his lower attack speed. His melee damage isn't anything to be proud of. The only thing he does really have are damage multipliers. But again, if your damage isn't good, what's the point of a multiplier to make it slightly less bad? And so yeah, let's quickly go over everything I see about Lutz. His health is quite low as Saruman at level 1. He can swap between his sword and bow like he's always been able to. He's got his cripple shot, which keeps someone pinned down for 15 seconds while in his bow form. He's got his sword, so he can use Carnage to gain a massive damage boost, which his current melee damage is 400. So 75% of that is an extra 300. So 300 damage, so 700 damage per hit. That only beats the base damage of one of these hero killers by 100. And that's just at level 1 base. At least that's what the wiki said. I'm going to be going over all of that in a minute. Then we've got Saruman's squad leader, give himself some armor and a shield. Nearby allies gain bonus damage, but obviously in a one-on-one fight, that extra 30 damage is going nowhere. You just get some extra armor from the shield. But then this ability is weird because yeah, it's a very weird one. The Hunt. You probably noticed Arvedui had an arrow constantly shooting from him earlier. Yeah, that's because of Lutz. And what it does is it marks enemy hero, monster, or heroic unit as a target for a very long duration. And you can see it's still going on I put it on about 2 minutes before recording. I'm still recording, and it has not disappeared yet. So I used to think this ability was garbage because I thought the range would be really, really low. But if you look at this here, it's about the same range, if not even longer range, than yeah, it's about as long as map-wide Lothlorien Archer Fire, which is very impressive for one. It grants a large vision area, which currently is being mocked out by this guy. Let me just turn his thing off by pressing any of his abilities. That other vision range should disappear soon. But it gives a pretty impressive vision range from about those huts there to those trees there. So quite a good bit of range. Let me try something else that will get rid of the map-wide vision from him. I was just testing a few things out before I actually started recording. I wanted to see if it would actually expire. It is not expiring. But yeah, the main point of this is Lurtz, Ugluk, Morher, who is a summon from Ugluk, and the Uruk Hunters and Morher's Hunters, which are again just another one of Ugluk's summons, can move faster while they're far away from the target, but then can move, well, not move faster, but then they can deal lots of damage extra when they're close to him. So now we come to the actual testing. We're going to begin how we would normally begin. We see Arvedui on the field. He's attacking. We then find him in combat. We pin him down with Lurtz. So the range isn't very good here. And you can see when we're actually nearby, we start getting that aura around us. And then let's see how much damage we do. That's 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits, 5 hits, 6 hits. So I took 6 hits of roughly 600. It even shows how much damage you're currently doing. 644 damage, which I think is applying both the Hunt and Carnage. You can see now the Hunt's gone and Carnage is gone. He's back down to 400, which that's quite nice. I didn't even realise that before. That's going to make this a lot easier to compare numbers. So that I think is the worst of the hero killers. Still a really good hero killer, but obviously there's another option in Isengard I think is slightly better, but for different reasons. At number 12 we have Grimmer Wormtongue, who should have base stats very similar to Lurtz, which is why I put them so close together. But Grimmer isn't even designated as a hero killer on the list. He's considered hero interruption because his abilities are meant to just weaken enemies of all kind. Reduces enemy armor by damage by 20% to each. He can backstab someone, which is the main reason I designated him as a hero killer. I want to see how his potential holds up to Lurtz. But he also just makes an enemy hero so weak they do no damage and receive no experience for the duration of the deception, which I'm not sure if will be interrupted suddenly if I start hitting him really hard, but we'll see. But he also has escape, so he can just disappear from the map. People think escape should just be used as an escape tool. I think it should be used as a interception tool. Use it while you can't be seen, disappear, you go stealth, no one can see you, then backstab him really hard, as if you were playing a rogue in Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, I've also managed to turn off the aura so you can see how far the Hunt gives you in terms of vision. Like, we've got no vision here. This is how much vision we're getting just from Arvedui alone, thanks to the Hunt. So yeah, you can see everything that's going on around that here if they escape. Anyway, let's get to the testing, because I want to find out if my choice to put Grimmer here was correct or incorrect. So we need to, firstly with the backstab, get right behind him. And yeah. But now we've been revealed apparently. Or not. Okay, escape's about to run out. We did more damage to him than less damage than I thought we would. So let's just make him do no damage. And then weaken him as well. Oh wow, you can't actually target a hero on his own. Okay, so you can see Grimmer's damage isn't exactly as good as Lurtz, but the fact he's just prevented the hero from doing any damage. Look how long this is lasting. That was an AoE. Yes, it didn't kill Arvedui as quickly, but he did it with more precision. He took way less damage. And that was taking into account the fact I wasn't doing the backstab thing properly. I should have waited until escape was about to come off cooldown to then backstab. Start hitting him really hard. If he had allies near him, then Venomous Words would have been good. But yeah, the Influence of Despair is low-key an amazing ability. He's even got an ability that has nothing to do with killing heroes because he's meant to be an interruption hero. Just make an entire base stop operating for 30 seconds is actually busted. For a hero that only costs 1400, that's why I think Grima is better than Lurtz. Because he takes way less damage when it comes to fighting against heroes, and he can just shut them down. Sure, if they start running away, that's when you'll want Lurtz, but that's why they both put them together use them both together in tandem, and you got one full hero killer. At number 11, we have Aragorn, or more correctly, Strider, because I've kept him in his Strider form, even at level 10, because I believe at his base level, that is when he is the most, well, has the highest potential for a hero killer. When he's still a ranger, he's still known for stealthing around and hunting his enemies down before he starts taking the path of the king. Mainly because his abilities do change to be more oriented toward a more kingly role, a more support role instead of a hero killer role. And we'll talk about that when we look at his abilities. So he's got Blade Master, he has that through the entire thing. That does not change. And in fact, you know what? I might be wrong on one thing. I'm gonna put him to Aragorn because that's when he takes away his normal sword and takes up Anduril to get 50% bonus damage. And he still does have Knife. Okay, so this is his strongest. This is his strongest form. His Two Towers form, when he's got the braces of Boromir, and is ready to fight in Helm's Deep because that's when he wields Anduril. His actual damage effect from the Blade Master Anduril ability is the same through his entire upgrades. But as he levels up, he loses his Cloak ability, his Stealth ability, which really doesn't really matter in a 1v1 duel. It only matters if you really want to run away. But he has King's Foil for healing, not just for himself but his allied heroes, so again, more of a support role. He has his Knife Throw, which is the main reason I didn't want to level him up, because I thought he lost it at this level, but he does not. Good. And then he also has Elendil, but again, that's not really a hero-killing ability. And then you become Elisar, and that's when you get Mount Brego, but he loses the dagger. So again, that's why it makes sense to stay on this form. And then finally, he does get, in his level 10 form, a AoE Army of the Dead. But if you're considering it in a one-on-one duel, they're going to be inside that ring. They're not going to take damage from the Army of the Dead. I still believe this is Aragorn's best form for killing heroes. And we're going to test that out now. So just before we go in, we pop Anduril. So I believe that does give a damage boost to the Knife Throw. At least it did in some mod. But look at that, nearly half health in one hit. Then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So 2 hits less than Lurtz. Yes, this hero costs nearly twice as much and is only from a settlement, the Signal Fire. But we're not taking in too much account the actual resource costs for these heroes. We're mainly going over their abilities and their strengths and their actual stats in combat. And you can see there, Aragorn did big work, but he's only at number 11. There's 10 more heroes, I think, were stronger than that performance. But some of them only by a small amount, and it's very technical with some of them. And also because they have more abilities that are suited to the hero-killing lifestyle, unlike Aragorn, who eventually comes out from the hero-killing business mostly and just needs to swing his sword a lot. Swinging his sword is good, but you need some other little tools here and there to make the fight that much easier. At number 10, we have Durmar. And I might already be thinking differently about this hero, how I play him, just from this alone. Because reading his abilities, he seems really strong in his Enforcer form. So there's 2 different modes. The main mode we're going to be talking about is his Enforcer mode. You can also turn to a Guardsman, which is more about protecting his own heroes and weakening enemy heroes. But in his Enforcer form, the damage on this. Firstly, the Blade of the Enforcer. Releases the terrible power of his Cursed Blade on a target enemy hero, dealing massive damage. The more enemies the blade has slain, the more powerful it will become. I am not going to be sitting here all day just constantly summoning Arvedui to kill him off to the Blade of the Enforcer. But I did do it once, just to test, and then I brought another Arvedui out to stab again. I didn't really see the difference. We will, however, see the difference when we use our Stronghold of the Iron Crown, because when used on Dermoth, if I can find him, Blade of the Enforcer deals double damage. So we can find out how much... So I already knew how much damage it was. It was pretty close to half health in just one hit. So we're going to see if that can kill him in pretty much one hit with Blade of the Enforcer alone. Also, you can see at level 5, Dermoth will be healed from the amount of damage dealt. Then it will cause a bleeding wound for 10 seconds. And at level 10, the target will be marked for 10 seconds, such that the Black Guards and Heroes of Angmar will cause more damage by melee attacks against the target. He then has Dermoth's Verdict. Dermoth will become stealth for 10 seconds, and if he attacks an enemy hero in that time, the ability will activate, and the enemy hero will lose 50% armor for 30 seconds. So already we're just coming closer to one-shotting an enemy hero. Then we've got Shadow Attack. Dermoth gets less armor for 30 seconds, but his attacks reduce the armor of all nearby heroes. So that's really good. Obviously, it's reversed when he's in his Guardsman form, which makes this way stronger. And then finally, Command of the Enforcer, which I'm not going to use because I want to test Dermoth's power alone. At Dermoth's command, a group of Black Guards will beset an enemy hero, stun him, and heavily damage him. I want to use this, but I also don't want to use it because I want to show off how powerful Dermoth is on his own. If Arvedui survives the Blade of the Enforcer and all of this, then we'll use this. So let's summon Arvedui using the Defender of 7 stars. Let's get the Might of the Witch King, put it onto Dermoth, wait for the effect to be activated. Now Dermoth is ready to cause some chaos. He even got a cool new shield to show he is in this new form. So we're going to Stealth, we're going to Shadow Attack, we're going to use Blade of the Enforcer after we hit him once. Oh, I was too late. That sucks. Oh no, it still counted. Look at that. Near half health in one hit. Then 1, 2, 3. Full combo. Not even using the Command of the Enforcers, and he's already stronger than Aragorn. Obviously, it takes a bit more setup, but again, I'm showing a hero at their maximum potential, and I have to say that potential was very, very good. And in fact, let's just summon Arvedui again. Let's summon him again just to show off the power of the Command of the Dreadlord. Command of the Enforcer even. So, 1 is from range. 2, it's stunning them. And look at the damage it's doing on its own. And then we can just slap, 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 slap. Enemy hero has reduced armor. Okay, so the Enforcers don't last for very long. But they do keep the hero stunned in place so that you can just get into combat. Obviously, it's a level 10 ability, so you're not going to use it as often as, say, a cripple shot from Lurtz. But you're also not Lurtz. You're way stronger than Lurtz at base. With more health and more damage just at base again. And then we can also take into account the Blade of the Enforcer. Even if we are wounded, we can just heal up and then just do it all again. I'm actually growing in love more with this hero just from this testing alone. Although I will say I probably still don't use him very much because AI don't use heroes very often. At number 9, we have Azog, or as he's known in the Edain mod, the Defiler, the Pale Orc astride his White Warg, who has some really good abilities just for hunting down a hero in general, which follows quite a lot of what he did in the Hobbit movies. So firstly, he can mount and dismount his Warg. He's not forced to stay on his Warg, although I think 2 of his abilities might be better while on his Warg. So he has Warg Leap. The Defiler's White Warg springs upon an opponent and knocks enemy units and heroes to the ground. He has the Warg Ambush, which used to just be a creator hero feature. The fact they brought this in for a hero is insane, because it's actually stronger with this form. So the Defiler lets loose a horde of wild warg target area who attacks all nearby enemies. For the duration of the ambush, enemy units and heroes are slowed by 25%. And then at level 5 and then level 7, even more hunters join the ambush. Whip the flesh down to the bones doesn't really work with this, but if you're using him with a bunch of other warg riders, just strip one down to the bones to make all the others stronger for a short while. Just as long as you're not killing too many of them. And then bring me his head. The Defiler sends out some of his minions to bring him the head of an enemy hero. The hero is briefly paralyzed and attacked by some orcs of Gundabad. So very similar to the ability of Dermoth, the Enforcer. So let's put all this to the test. Let's start with the ambush. Once we get close enough, it should be allowed to work. Yep, so ambush. Bring me his head. And then the Wargig. Before we even join in the fight... I think I broke it. Yeah, this ability alone, the Warg Ambush, was nearly enough to kill him on his own. That's why I didn't want to use the Command of the Enforcer with Dermoth, because I thought it did the same amount of damage. But yeah, the Bring Me His Head ability, in itself, just keeps an enemy from doing any fighting back. Along with the Warg Ambush, just means they're dying. He was at half health when we used the Warg Leap, which somehow sent him into orbit and would not let him come back down. In his sitting down, well, on his dismounted form, he just has a powerful strike. He hits someone with his mace, and Bring Me His Head does instead of summoning troops to do the paralyzing, he is the one that makes the enemy hero deals severe damage to an enemy hero, and then makes enemies freeze in fear. So if you want to be more hero killer focused, stay on your mount. Summon the wargs, paralyze them, and then go in with the leap. But if you want to do more damage to units in general, then you want to be on foot because you get the extra, the gruesome damage from just using him on foot. Very powerful hero, not to be underestimated ever. At number 8, we have Gandalf. And I know Gandalf is classified as a mass slayer. I understand that, but hear me out. Two of his abilities in particular are very oriented towards single target damage and can murder any hero with relative ease. So let's explain. Firstly, when he becomes Gandalf the White, using the power, he just gets 100% bonus to his magical attacks, which, by the way, are the two abilities we're talking about. Has a recharge time on those abilities, and has more hit points. So he already has, at base, more hit points than most of the heroes we've already talked about. Secondly, is Starry Light. On its own, is enough to make most monsters die in one hit. So, how does it fare against a hero? One hit potential. Look at that damage. I'm even going to summon another Arvedui just to show off even more. So yes, his base damage itself isn't anything to scoff at, as you can see. But if we summon another one, because we need to show off this power more appropriately, Lightning Sword. Lightning Sword, did you know, if it targets us one entity, it will hit him over and over and over and over again. 4 hits! 4 hits! And he was down. And again, that is Starry Light nearly killed Arvedui. That can kill anything in the air. Dragon, Eagle, Wraith, doesn't matter. They're all dying. Lightning Sword can also target things in the sky, if you didn't know. And even though it's really, really bad against a lot of basic infantry, because, you know, it just uses up all those attacks to kill basic troops, that Lightning Sword is very good at killing heroes. And if you use that against, say, for example, I don't know, Ring Hero Sauron, maybe that could kill him in one hit. It's a shame you'll never find a wild Ring Hero Sauron out there on his own without an army of orcs surrounding him. Yeah, Gandalf's really good at being a hero killer. Do not disrespect him by just thinking he's good at killing chaff. He can kill the good stuff too. It's just not very hard to get him because of how expensive he is, in my opinion, with Gondor. At number 7, we have the Mouth of Sauron. And yes, that is right. His mouth is just constantly going through different animations. This is not a necessary thing the Edain team needed to do. I'm just glad they did it, because this is a funny little feature. And it does not stop even when he's being talked to. He just does the silly head tilt, which is so nice. Oh. But yeah, the Mouth of Sauron is actually designated as a hero killer, which I was kind of confused by when I didn't put him in my original lineup. But yeah, His abilities at base are very similar to Gandalf's when it comes to just hero killing. In the fact, Morgul Sorcery is just a green tinted lightning sword, and the Evil Eye is a red tinted Istari light. Both also doing massive damage to just anything it touches. You also have the Dark Veil, which isn't really necessary, but make enemies fight near a building is pretty cool. But he has a second Palantir, the Palantir of the Dark Words. So he has the Words of Delusion, just make his enemies have less vision range, which is good if you want to just move in with a quick hero killer like the Mouth of Sauron. He has Doubt to just rob them of their strength, remove the speed of enemies in the area, and cavalry cannot move as fast when trampling. Words of Misery just make enemy heroes do less damage for half the duration. Well, half their damage for the duration. And then Descent, we all know Descent. It makes enemies go mad for each other. So let's test out the Words of Misery on Arvedui. And then let's go over to the other side. Use the Evil Eye. Let's see how much damage that does. Is it comparable to the Starry Light? It is not. Because, you know, it's not Gandalf the White. He's not just popping out stuff. But the fact the Lightning Sword and the Morgul Sorcery does the exact same thing. And then look at that! Look at that little bit of damage he did. That's thanks to the Words of Misery. He may not be good against a single hero like Gandalf is, but he sure as hell is better against a whole clump of heroes than Gandalf is with the Words of Misery. And the Morgul Sorcery itself is also meant to bounce up to more targets, apparently, from the Edain Wiki tooltip. But yeah, the Evil Eye is still really good at just keeping enemies busy. The only reason that Gandalf did so much more damage is because Gandalf the White gives him such a necessary power-up. The Mouth of Sauron being half his price, and not needing to level up on his own because his levels are tied to Sauron, like the Nazgul, makes him personally better than Gandalf when it comes to just hero killing in general. And yeah, this is why someone who badmouths Gandalf gets away with being higher than him on the tier. At number 6, we have Aranar. And yeah, I actually missed that this guy is a hero killer, but not in this form. This form, he is meant to be a hero support.
Arvedui is still strong.
But this is the form you'll probably also see me using all the time whenever I play as Arnor, because personally I prefer this form. He just buffs heroes, has a attack speed buff, and also just gets a Elrond level restoration, so returning abilities, and then also has I can't remember the last one was. I think a rebuild. But this is the other form we're talking about. So his base stats, I thought that melee damage was fake. No. In this form, at level 10, he's 537 damage.
The Dunedain will enjoy.
In this form, it's 600. Although, to be fair, I thought that was at base. I thought that was 600 at base at level 1. That's what the Edain Wiki read. But it's good to know that's not in fact true. That's been changed. Because, my God. But yeah, in this form, he can swap between a 300 range damage at apparently 450 range, which is higher than even Legolas range. It's about as high as Guardians of Karas Galathon. He then gets the cripple shot, same as Lurtz. He has Deadly Sniper. For a short time, he gains huge increase to fire rates. He used to also say damage, I think, but again, that's from the wiki. But then when he becomes a Chieftain of the Dunedain, he gets 2 new abilities. He gets Athelas, so heal nearby allies will be healed, so he's kind of like Aragorn in that regard. Barrett being a support, but also sustained in hero killing. But then also Arrow Barrage. Shoots several volleys of arrows at the target area, doing small damage, but throws down enemies. So let's put it to the test. First, let's have a look at his actual range, which is hard to say and show in this area, but let's see his actual range. Okay, it's not as good as what the wiki said. There's cripple shot. Not really a cripple, but you know. And then let's have a look at this knock down arrow volley. Not knocking him down, mind you. And this is without Deadly Sniper. Oh, what the fuck was that? Excuse me? I'm summoning another Arvedui for that. What was that attack speed? No, seriously, what was that attack speed? Arvedui, explain yourself. Explain yourself at once. Explain yourself at once with that attack speed. What the fuck was that? Not to forget that he's basically got a legless arrow volley.
Stay hidden.
Holy shit. I might need to use this form a bit more. I might need to use this form a bit more if the AI is spamming heroes, because my god.
Arvedui,
Deadly
you shall call
sniper.
him, for he will be the last in Arthedain.
Shut up, Malbeth. Yeah, cripple shot didn't actually cripple. It's just a knockdown. Not even use Apolis. That deadly sniper, what the fuck? That was cool. That's what I wanted the Crate Hero Archers to be able to do. What the... Oh, honestly, I'd still put him at number 6. I'd still put him at number 6, but my god, that damage. That speed! At number 5, we have the twins, Edain and Arvedui, who have not only really good base damage, but they're level 1 active, or passive even, passive and active technically. They have a 25% chance to do double damage. They have a chance to just do 1,000 damage per hit, 1 in 4 chance, and they can improve it to 3 in 4 chance with a critical hit. They have Deception, creating a small decoy for a very limited amount of time. And if it takes damage, little AoE damage around it. So that's good at clearing out enemies to then focus more on hero. You can then choose between Noldorin armor or Elven cloaks for stealth while standing still. Or just extra armor like I took because, you know, why not have more health and protection when you're a hero killer? You then get Blade Prison, which is a melee cripple shot. That you can use on a hero or monster. And again, no side says for a critical hit, so that is 1,000 damage. That's one of the few abilities that actually just full on tells you what it's going to do. It's going to do 1,000 damage. And then the most stupid thing about these two, level 10, Master Duelists. The twins target an enemy. The target enemy here will reduce armor and damage of units friendly to him by 75% for 1 minute. 60 seconds, you've just made a hero a ticking time bomb. Basically telling them either keep them with your troops and you're going to die, or leave him and let him die. Or her die, because there are some female characters. Or them die. I'm not going to judge what people these characters want to call themselves. But also, they will also suffer double damage from the twins when they attack them. So that means a critical strike is going to do 2,000 damage. We've also got Arwen here sitting ringside, because when you get the Influence of the Evening Star, you can make these abilities recharge faster, but also the twins can heal themselves faster. So let's begin with the Master Duelists. So right away, the enemy's thinking, oh no, this hero's just been targeted. How will we know? Well, you won't know. You can't tell. The enemies will probably have an aura. Okay, now you'll know, because of that constant aura going around them. Deception.
We move onward.
They'll attack the twin copy.
You shall know my wrath.
But then we attack with our Blade Prison.
They will taste death.
We put on our critical hit.
They must die.
And look at that. Look at that. So you've got the choice. Keep your hero alive by just going to the twins. Or bring him away. Either throw him away while the rest of your army keeps fighting, or you run your army away and let the hero take the fall. You're not going to be able to do that in a very quick instance battle. And also, look how fast that health is ticking back. It's going tick, 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 tick. So already we can go straight back into combat just from having Arwen nearby, which is really good because Arwen's is a really good hero in general.
We are called to honor.
But yeah, the fact these guys can just do massive amounts of damage to any target, oh, you better believe that's why they're so high up. And also because they're more regularly used. Some of the heroes like Aronoth, for example, one is an Arnor hero, so he has to be on an Arnor map. But also, his Ranger form, personally, it's cool and does a lot of damage, but I still prefer the Prince form. where this form is just this is just peak Imlarger's gameplay, having these two around in early game to kill off enemy heroes. That's when the AI will not typically use them. And even just at level 1, these guys can cut down most heroes just on their own. Really good heroes. And also, Imlargers in general, having high damage elite units, does just make them better for cleaning out chaff that have this effect. Or just makes even elite infantry considered chaff when they have no damage in armor. And number 4, we have Legolas, another hero that is not classified as a hero killer, but has major hero killing potential. And it all starts with that bow. The Gift of Galadriel, which gives Legolas his bonus damage with the Galadriel bow for Hawk Strike and Arrow Wind, the two abilities that, when used well, similar to Morgul Sorcery and Lightning Sword, a single target can just murder a hero. And then also Hawk Strike is doing massive damage similar to other abilities. Also Legolas as being an amazing archer, increasing his sight range, his weapon range, his armor, and reveals hidden enemies nearby. Let's just see that damage. This is also without taking into account Galadriel being able to target him to offer other unique upgrades. Even without using his ability, he's already doing massive damage. Then if even a hero gets close. Also, Legolas's attack speed is the highest out of all these heroes, with 1000, which is the highest attack speed in the game. And yeah, Legolas just has the highest attack speed in the game. And that's just going over two of his abilities. His Knife Fighter, if he's in danger, if Arrow Wind isn't going to save him anymore, just get extra armor and do damage in melee. It can also train archers to be even stronger, even if he's not in a hero killing mood. He can just make other things stronger as well. He's just in general a really good hero with massive potential, because just like with Gandalf and the Mouth of Sauron, he just has that potential in him. Hawkstrike's already back. Arrowwind's about to be back. And you can even just use Radiant Aid, fully heal him, and then get all his abilities back to use again. Although for some reason didn't prioritize Knife Fighter, a bit weird on that. But yeah, Legolas, really good hero in general, and definitely is worth calling a hero killer. At number 3, we have Eowyn. Yep. She is, without a doubt, one of the strongest hero killers in the game. Just by her basic stats. Considering that she is meant to be the same as Lurtz when it comes to being a hero killer, she just has more damage. Way more damage than him at base. But also, look at that, 537 damage at level 10 for 1800 resources. Her only caveat is the fact that she has two abilities that do the exact same thing. Mount and dismount. Except one of them is obviously a mount to look like Dernhelm, which is the name of her other form. But Smite, Shield Maiden, which got massively changed from what it used to be, which was just a armor buff. Now, for a short time, she suffers 20% less damage in general and 70% less damage from heroes. Heroes! Next to no damage. And then I Am No Man. While the target enemy is nearby, Eowyn is a massive damage boost, increased movement speed, and cannot be knocked back.
I am no man.
So let's show it all in action. So firstly, really long range, same as the Hunt. Again, I'm just putting alerts on the stake here with this. So firstly, Smite. And then let's just take no damage while she just kills them. 1, 2, 3, 4. She has only 1 damage boost from her level 10. Not sure exactly how much of a damage boost, so I'm going to say about double. So that already does about the same as Eladon and Elro here. You saw how long it took them to kill Aranarth. She did it in half the time. Her Smite can be used to attack flying entities, so things like Nazgul, eagles, dragons, they're not safe from her wrath. Oh, she's such a good hero overall. If she didn't have this useless power, if she had another actual useful power, I would potentially put her at number 2. But the person who's at number 2 is actually disgusting for the damage they can deal. At number 2, we have Thorin Stonehelm. And yes, I'm going over both of them at the same time Because the part that makes them the number 2 hero is a combo that both of them has. However, if I was to choose between the two, the Erebor foreign would way exceed the other. So come, let's check the stats out. Exactly the same in every single way. And by the way, this is before Mithril Mail. This is without the extra Mithril Mail health. Because, yeah, that would just be even more ridiculous. But Iron Will on the young Foreign Stone Helm for the Iron Hills, instead of giving damage like it does for Erebor's Iron Will, it just gives extra armor and immunity to knockback for some reason. But the Blood Rage is the main thing. Deals double damage, but loses some armor. So you're more likely to enter your Iron Will state and deal more damage or have more armor. Then there's the Battle Roar, which is actually where it all changes. So Foreign in Iron Hills just has bonus speed and causes terror, or causes enemies to flee. For Erebor, who I'm going to be testing, his ability is that it gives bonus speed and enemy heroes nearby sustain more damage by hero attacks. Not just his own, but all hero attacks. So let's move this Foreign out the way, because this is what we're going to be testing. And then finally the ability that we've all known and loved, that I've been talking about in the Over-Explains, Blood Revenge. So let's go in. Blood Rage, Battle Roar. At full health, 1 hit, nearly dead. 2 hits, and then dead. And that's just the ordinary Foreign. Let's also get this Foreign in as well. Let's do a double test, because I feel like it. Let's do a double test here. Because, yeah, that was way too quick. This is why I'm saying he's the second strongest hero killer. Only losing to, not himself, obviously, but only losing to one other hero killer. And I'm sure you all know by now who I'm talking about. The hero I constantly call the strongest hero killer. I didn't even see that. He just died. Revenge just killed him alone. So yeah, this guy, if you set him up correctly, can do a one-shot every like 2 minutes against a hero at level 1. Obviously, a hero that's stronger, say for example Sauron, that's going to take more than just 1 good hit. But the fact you can pretty much kill him in 1 good hit. I'm not sure if this is actually correct or if it is the same as this Battle Roar. But yeah, that Battle Roar, the extra damage, was insane. We're about to see one hero that's just slightly better because he doesn't have this Mithril Mail. And just gets his abilities from his wife. If this was a surprise for any of you, I feel disappointed that you didn't know that I think, and will always think, that Celeborn is and will always be the strongest hero killer in the Edain mod. By not quite a country mile, thanks to heroes like Eowyn and Foreign Stonehelm, but my god, this is the only hero killer I know that actually got nerfed from his hero killing. Let's look at his stats. First ability, Lord of the Golden Wood. If an enemy hero is in a medium vicinity, he'll just get more damage and armor. Every additional hero after the first increases by the bonus by 10% damage and 5% armor. Becomes Lord of the Firstborn when using Might of the Silver One, which is a level 10. Silver Blade. For 30 seconds, more attack speed and more experience. Becomes a Shining Blade later on. Surrounding himself in a gale that protects him from enemy arrows, giving knockback resistance and movement speed. Become Torrential Winds when Might of the Silver One is active. And then finally, Squall. For 30 seconds, uses strong winds to pull enemy heroes in a medium radius close to him. It becomes Heavy Gales when using Might of the Silver One, and obviously Might of the Silver One itself. 60 seconds, all abilities have stronger effects. Should be used in conjunction with all other abilities. And you can see here, I put 4 Arveduis here, because I think that they're going to need it against Celeborn. So let's just show off his power. So already you can see the aura for where he's just getting stronger. And now let's read his abilities while we're going over this. As long as Might of Silver One is active, Celeborn gains attack speed. On top of the just attack speed and damage from his now Shining Blade. Torrential Winds bestows him speed upon him and flings away hostile units. Squall, as you saw, pulled everyone into him from medium radius close to him. I don't know why that guy wasn't fighting back, but yeah. Celeborn just tanks and kills so well. He is, without a doubt, the best hero killer in the game. Like, this is just without any other upgrades, other than, you know, the Gift of Galadriel. You can also get, for example, Radiant Aid, where he just fully heals, and apparently not because some game glitches. But yeah, Celeborn was just in that fight, killed 4 Arveduis, and all his abilities are back off. Oh no, they're back off cooldown because of the ability. He just didn't get the healing. But yeah, Celeborn is without a doubt the best hero killer in the game. He can kill multiple heroes on his own. He can kill a single hero on his own. He just struggles against anything that's not hero. That's not what we're ranking him by. Against heroes, he is the king. I cannot think of a single better hero killer that requires no micro. You just have to spam all his abilities out, and then boom, the heroes are then turned into his meal for the day. I always just go Celeborn, nom nom nom, eat that hero. Because he just eats them. He kills them without any effort. With Foreign Stonehelm, you need to actually put the effort in to use all his abilities in the correct order, and then target hero with Revenge. With Eowyn, you need to smite to target a hero. With I Am No Man, you need to target a hero. With Legolas, you need to have Arrow Wind target only one entity. Hawk Strike, you need to target the hero. Elan Elrohir, target the hero. Aranarth, you need to target the hero. Most of the heroes in this game, you need to target something. Or even things like Aragorn, where you only have the one ability that does bonus damage. Does not stand a chance against someone like Celeborn, who just gets stronger for being near more heroes. They don't stand a chance. I love this hero. They had to get nerfed as well. This ability was actually stronger for a time before it got nerfed. It used to just be the bonus damage and armor, like 20% and 10% for every hero. They had to nerf it because it was too good. Oh, I love this hero. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Farewell.